What is battery? Battery, as we all know, it is an electrical device which converts the stored chemical energy into electrical energy. So each of the cell contains the positive electrode, that is the anode, and the negative electrode, that is the cathode. Now you can see in the picture, in the red highlighted zone, the battery details are there. Sorry, the cell details is there. Now the cell voltage is 2 volt. Okay, that is the rated voltage. 420 ampere hour is the battery capacity. We are having the type of the voltage, that is the C10. And we are having the ECV, that is the electrical critical voltage, it is 1.85 volt. So, for example, if the battery capacity is as said 420 ampere hour and the type of battery is C10, so the discharge current can be calculated with 420 ampere hour divided by the 10 hours, that is the C10 denotes the rated discharge time, and this is the rated capacity. So for C10 type batteries, the rated discharge current will be 42 amps. Now same for the C20 type battery, here the rated discharge time is 20 hours, so we are getting the rated discharge current 21 amps. And for the C5 batteries, it will be 84 amps. ECV, the electrical critical voltage, is, if it is a voltage beyond this, the cell will go into the dip discharge mode. So this is very essential while you are doing the battery discharging test. It's a very important parameter for that test. Some basic terminologies. That is, the first one is percentage efficiency. Now in the picture, you see the blue indication is the discharge current in amps. The violet indication is the time required to fully discharge the battery in hours. And the white one is the percentage efficiency. Now, in condition 1, we are doing the discharge in rated current with rated time. And we are getting the 100% capacity. Now, in condition 2, we have seen the discharge current is getting increased. And because of that, the time is getting reduced, but we are not getting the same efficiency. In condition 3, condition 4, up to condition 10, we have seen the current is very high when we are doing the discharge test, and the time is relatively very, very low. And we can see the efficiency, it has been gradually decreased to your 50%. So it is absolutely not recommended to do the discharge test in current that is the beyond the rated current capacity. So it is always recommended to do the discharge in the rated current capacity. Now the concept of charging, one is the bulk charging and one is the float charging. Whenever we are connecting the battery in charging mode, first we see the voltage will gradually increase in a stable voltage or in a nominal voltage. And after that, the voltage will be continuous. This is in the constant voltage, you can see the charging is going on. So initially, when the current, when the voltage was relatively lower in case of charging, we can see at constant current, the battery is charging. For that, the voltage is increasing. Now, when the voltage is increasing and getting into a, you can say stable value, after that, we are charging the battery at constant voltage. Okay? So the voltage remains here constant and the full charge is maintained. So what is state of charge? The state of charge is defined as the present charge of the battery with respect to the battery, new battery, which is having the total charge. So you can see in this picture, when the 100% state of charge is there, the voltage is 12.6 plus. Okay. Now, if we are discharging the battery, the state of charge is going down, and based on that, the voltage is going down as well. And in the red zone, you can see when the state of charge is in 0%, the voltage is 10.5 volt. Now, in the earlier slide, what I have explained, the ECV, that is the electrical critical voltage, this is your 10.5 volt is the electrical critical voltage. Beyond this value, the battery may get in the dip discharge mode. Now, what is state of health? The state of health is the present capacity of the battery with respect to the new or the brand new cell capacity of the cell capacity. That is the ratio. Ratio is the present charge level and the newly cell charge level. Sorry, capacity level. So in case of brand new cell, you can see the state of charge is 100% and the state of health is also 100%. Now, after some usage, or in case of old batteries, we can see the state of health is gradually reduced. Now, 90% is the state of health here. The 10% part is we are calling the dirt or the unusable part, which cannot be reused. In that case, the SOC, that is state of charge, though it is showing 100%, but the state of health is reduced. And for the degraded cell, the state of health will be continuously reducing. The dirt part will continuously increase. Internal resistance. So whenever we are connecting the battery in the load, we are getting the terminal potential difference. But that is the summation of the EMF and the lost volt. Now the battery we know is having the resistance, self-resistance. We are calling it the internal resistance. And because of the internal resistance, we are having this lost volt. Now this is a point we need to check, that if the internal resistance of the battery is getting increased. For the relatively new batteries, they are very low, but for the used batteries, the internal resistance is getting increased. Now, if the internal resistance increases, automatically the capacity of the battery will be reduced. Self-discharge. Self-discharge for the secondary batteries or rechargeable batteries, self-discharge is a very common point. This occurrence is whenever you are even not connecting the battery into any load, but the chemical reaction inside the battery will continuously happen. And because of that, the battery will get self-discharge. Now, this is, you can see the internal resistance. When the internal resistance increases, okay, gradually, the self-discharge in percentage also increases. And as I have said, the effective battery capacity in percentage is getting reduced. The depth of discharge. The depth of discharge is defined as the amount of a battery's capacity that has been used. Now, most of the manufacturers will specify a maximum DOD value for your optimized performance. Now, a fully discharged battery will have shorter reusable lifespan. What is round trip efficiency? Round trip efficiency is the ratio of the energy recovered from the battery and the energy which is getting input energy into the device. So in the charging process, we know, for example, you can see in the picture 100 watt is the input energy. Now in case of discharge, the energy is 80 watt. Okay, so some amount of energy is consumed by the battery or the cell himself, around 20 watt. So the ratio of this output energy and the input energy capacity is known as the round trip efficiency. Specific gravity. The definition of specific gravity is the weight of the electrolyte with respect to the ratio of the weight of the electrolyte and the ratio of the equal amount of water that is defined as the specific gravity. Now, in case of battery, if you see in the picture, when the battery is 80% charged, the specific gravity is just below 1.15. Here, the sulfuric acid is around 18.5%. And if you are going up to 100%, after 100% charge, you can see the specific gravity just above 1.25, and the sulfuric acid content is 36%. So the specific gravity doesn't have to be lower or upward than 1.25. So we need to check the specific gravity in between 1.1 and the 1.25. So that is applicable for your lead acid batteries. Now, what are the conditions and the reasons for battery degradation? First one is overcharging. Now, whenever we are doing overcharging of the battery, at the good condition, when you can see in the first picture, where the SOC, that is the state of charge, is between 0 to 1, okay, the battery is in good condition. After that, as per the OEM recommendation, the float voltage can be 20% above the nominal voltage. So it is, the state of charge is automatically up to 1.2, from 1 to 1.2, that is the state of charge. Now, beyond that, if the overcharging is happening, the SOC, that is the state of charge, will increase further. If it is increased further, then there will be some lithium deposition will start to happen. Taking an example of the lithium-ion battery. And after that, beyond that, the SOC goes in this range for 1.4 to 1.6. Okay, in this range, the anode and the cathode decomposition will start to happen. And beyond that, the blast or the electrical failure of the battery will happen. So this is the condition of overcharging. Number 2 is shorting. So if accidentally the battery terminals are shorted, then a very high amount of current will flow in a very short time. Third is the self-discharge. So as I have explained, the secondary batteries are having this common feature, self-discharge, in which the chemical reaction will automatically happen, though you are not connecting the load into the battery. And because of this self-discharge, we need to regulate the charging and discharging cycle of the battery. So this is very important for the rechargeable or the secondary type batteries. Now, sulfation, why the sulfation is happening? So if the battery is getting overheated, or it is, you can say the battery is at temperature above than the 75 degrees centigrade room temperature, the sulfation will occur. And sulfation, it is a very natural process for the old batteries we can see in the substation. If the battery is getting old, the sulfation is a very common occurrence. Now, because of this, the terminals of the battery is getting corroded, and if the sulfation is like over sulfation is occurring, then it ultimately leads to your grit corrosion. And in case of grit corrosion, so it is like the terminal of the battery we need to replace, or we can clean it up. Next is your capacity loss. The capacity loss, in the earlier slides, I have explained the depth of discharge, that is the DOD, and the round trip efficiency. So if the DOD and the round trip efficiency is decreasing, the capacity is also getting decreased. Capacity of the battery is getting reduced. So you can see in this picture, if the DOD is 20%, the remaining capacity of the battery is around 50%. When it is 80%, and the remaining capacity of the battery is around 20%. And if the 100% DOD, that's the depth of discharge, has occurred, then there is no remaining capacity of the battery. In this condition, we can say the battery is a dead battery. Now, because of the overcharging or the sulfation, we know the internal overheating of the battery is occurring. Because of the heating, the protective layer starts to break down, and consecutively the layers, each of the layers are breaking down, like the electrolyte breaks down into flammable gases. For that, the separator which separates the two electrodes, it will also melt, and if the separator melts, there will be a cause of short circuit, and for that the anode and cathode breaks down and leads to an ultimate electrical failure. So it is very important to control the heating, internal heating of the battery. So as per different utility guidelines or as per different IEEE guidelines, the utilities are following different schedules, from starting from your daily schedule to yearly schedule, and in some special cases they are maintaining the special schedules as well. So there are some tests they are performing to check the condition of the battery. So number one is sulfation and grit corrosion, that I have already explained. We can also check the electrolyte level. So if the electrolyte level is going downwards, the battery will be dried out. The specific gravity and pH is also important. As you know, in case of lead acid batteries, the electrolyte pH is very important to check the acidity. So if it is going dilute or more dilute, then there will be problem inside the batteries. The foreign objects, ingression or deposition can increase your internal resistance of the battery. So that is also checked with the help of battery resistance, internal resistance. We can also check the pilot cell reading, the cell string and bank voltage. So cell string and bank voltage, it is important to check whether the capacity is your 100% or if it is getting reduced. The cell temperature and the ambient temperature is also monitored. So if you go to the battery bank, it is observed that the temperature is always constant in the battery room. We can also check the charger output current and the voltage. The condition of ventilation is also important, because we know that the some gaseous effect is there inside the battery. Hydrogen gas will start to form inside the battery. So for that only the ventilation is required. And for that the condition of ventilation is very important. The DC float current and voltage is checked, and also the PCR leakage current. Now the other parameters like the state of current, state of charge, state of health, the DOD, these things I have already explained. So I think I don't need to explain it further. Now, what are the do's and don'ts? Now, if we consider battery as a living being, so they are always having an urge. So suppose the battery, if it is, if you need to check the electrolyte level of the battery, because if the electrolyte level is going down, then the battery will be dried out. So that is why you need to maintain the electrolyte level. Now, don't always put the battery in float charge, because it needs a change. Whenever you are doing the charging, initially the voltage has to be risen in a nominal value. So that is why the boost charging is required on that. After that, you can charge locators. So these are the tests generally conducted in the substation, and these are the equipments you need to use to conduct the test. So how we are doing the discharge testing? So one equipment of ours is there, that is the blue series we are telling. That is the electronic battery loading unit through which we are doing the battery discharge testing. Now through our blue series, we are doing this, you can say percentage efficiency, capacity or the discharge test. So what is basically this capacity or discharge test? This is the only form of test to determine the actual capacity of the battery. IEEE guidelines, IEEE has the separate guidelines for the different types of batteries. For flooded lead acid, we are having IEEE 450 guidelines. For the VRLA type batteries, IEEE 1188 guideline is there, and for the nickel cadmium batteries, the IEEE 1106 is there. What are the importances of this capacity or the discharge test? So the importance is to determine the predictable life curve of the battery. What is the life remaining of the battery? That it will determine. You can always know with the help of discharge test when to replace a cell or string or even a bank if it needs to be replaced. Now, with the help of discharge test, it is also possible to locate the weak cells and the faulty intercell connectors. So this is actually this capacity or the discharge test is the accurate and a proven test method to check the healthiness of the battery bank and improve the life of the battery bank. Now, as per the IEEE guidelines, IEEE has said there are two types of test methods to carry out the discharge test. One is your constant current mode. The other one is constant power mode. Now, to understand the constant current mode, you can see the cell rating is there. It was previously available in the earlier slide. So we are having 2 volt cell voltage. The total battery bank capacity is 420 ampere hour. The type of the battery is C10. That is, the rated discharge time is 10 hours. Okay, and the ECV is 1.85 volt. Now, how we are calculating the discharge current? That is the total battery bank capacity 420 ampere hour divided by the rated discharge time, that is the 10 ampere hour. So for C10, the rated discharge current will be 42 amps. For C20, the 21 ampere will be the discharge current. This is the constant discharge current I am talking about. And for the C5 type, the constant discharge current will be 84 amps. So with the help of constant current, we are getting the capacity of the battery. IEEE has also said the constant power mode also. And some of the manufacturers are also giving the constant resistance method. But IEEE has not tell anything about this test method. So that is why, as per the IEEE guidelines, the constant current is the best and proven method to carry out the battery discharge capacity. So what are the parameters to be monitored during the discharge test? One is the discharge time, the discharge current, the battery bank or the string voltage, each individual cell voltage. We need to also check the temperature rise, and if there are some physical abnormalities are happening during the discharge test. Now to understand how the discharge process is happening, here is the picture of, in the x-axis you can see the state of charge is there, and in the y-axis we are having the voltage, that is the battery voltage. Now, when the state of charge is around 100%, you can see the bank voltage, that is the battery voltage, is just above 4.2. Okay, so that is the float voltage. That is around the SOC, that is the state of charge is 100%. Now, whenever we are carrying out the discharge test, so you see when the discharge process is about 80%, the voltage is gradually lowering very, you can say, in an exponential way. Okay, and in the after the 20%, the same exponentially way the voltage is decreasing. Now, in between the 80% and the 20% discharge mode, the voltage is gradually decreasing in more of a very linear way. Okay, so this is how exactly the discharge process of the battery is happening. And during the discharge process, if you are getting any abnormal curves, except this signature, so you can also say the battery is not in a good condition, or there are some problems in the battery. Now, for the different types of batteries, you can see the graph is generally different, but the nature of the graph, the nature of the curve is almost same for all the types of batteries. So it is not changing. Now, beyond the rated discharge, we are also having the accelerated discharge facility. Now, to understand what is accelerated discharge, you can see this in the graph, in the curve, sorry, the 1C. 1C denotes we are doing the discharge in rated current capacity, rated current. 10C is 10 times then that of rated current. And based on that, we are having up to 40